everybody. Another Thursday is here. Welcome to another edition of my Facebook Global Travel Update Live. And of course, you can always email me your questions to peter@petergreenberg.com or put them right here on the streaming comments page, and we'll answer your questions as they come in. Lots of things to talk about. Happy post 4th of July. It was a crazy weekend. Actually, it was a crazy week, because with so many people working from home, or I should say working remotely, it wasn't a traditional rush on the Friday before the holiday, and it wasn't a traditional rush on the Sunday or Monday coming back. It was a rush all the time. 47 million Americans traveled last weekend. Believe it or not, that's up 5% over 2019, and 7 million of us traveled by air, and not too happily. Forgetting the long lines, forgetting the delays, forgetting some weather incidents, of course, which always can happen. It was the price. I've been talking about this for weeks now. The price of airline tickets going up between 7 and 10% a week compounded. Let me give you my own personal example. I was in LA last Thursday and had to get back to New York. My coach ticket, one way. Who wants to tell me how much that was? Anybody want to guess? I'll tell you, it's embarrassing. $1,100, and people are paying it because everybody wants to get back out and travel. One other thing I should note, I talked about this last week. I'm going to continue to talk about it as so many travel providers go back to pre-pandemic bad behavior. One of the bad behavior habits is airlines insisting that a short connection time is a legal connection time. How many of you have to connect on your flights to get to where you want to go? A lot of you. A majority of you are not taking nonstop flights. So what idiot at the airline thinks, and by the way, this is idiocy, sorry, that a 37-minute connect time between flights is not only legal, but possible, right? I know that one of our Olympic hopefuls just got scratched because of marijuana, and she's the fastest woman alive. I challenge her to make a 37-minute connect time, even without marijuana. The point is this. Every plane is full. A lot of planes are late. If you're on one of those flights that has a 37-minute connect time, even if it's on time, you're running a sprint. But if it's not on time and you miss your connecting flight in another time, in another planet, in another galaxy, they might put you on another available flight. But there are no available flights. They're full as well. You're spending the night at that connecting airport. Not a good idea. So it all gets down to what you do when you make your initial reservation. And if you're doing it online, make a better choice or have a conversation. You know how I feel about that. Give yourself a minimum connecting time. I'm not kidding, of 90 minutes. And if you're connecting bags, another stupid thing to do, but some of you don't have a choice, make it 2 hours. And if you're flying overseas, it's even worse. Now, not that a lot of us are going to the United Kingdom because they still haven't opened up. July 19th is still the date I've been talking about. I'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're going through Heathrow, for example, do you know what the minimum connect time is for you, which they never tell you? It's 4 hours. Here's the other thing they don't tell you. The minimum connect time for your bags is 5 hours. Who knows that? So even if you accommodate the 4 hour connect time for you and don't know about the bag connect time, your bags never arrive. So give yourself a 5 hour connect time if you're going through Heathrow, when in fact you ever go back there. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But it's those connect times that get me crazy, and I see it all the time. If you go on all the online, the OTAs, they give you all the shortest connect times. Don't go for that. It's suicidal, even in the best of times, okay? Now, a lot of other updates here. Tokyo, getting even worse when it comes to the Olympics. They banned foreign spectators, so none of us can go watch the games. Now it looks like they're going to ban Japanese spectators. This is going to end up being a bad video game. In any case, we will stay on top of that. But the smart money right now is start booking your tickets and your flights for the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics, which are actually going to be 3 years away, not 4 years away. Because remember what happened last year. And we'll talk about that in a subsequent show. But the point is, the Tokyo Olympics is basically going to be empty stadiums. Hawaii, today's an interesting day. We talked about it last week. It's happening. Hawaii today lifts the restrictions for testing if you're a fully vaccinated U.S. passenger. Now, having said that, Hawaii is inundated with U.S. travelers. What a surprise. It's on everybody's bucket list. It's getting so crazy in terms of infrastructure that last week, the mayor of Maui appealed to the airlines to lower the number of their flights. They can't handle the numbers, right? Kauai is jammed. Oahu is jammed. The islands are jammed, and the prices are not down. They're up. Smart move, September. I've always talked about September as the magic month. It's really the magic month now because this year, for the first time in 2 years, kids may actually be back in school. So be smart. If you don't have kids, pick September anywhere in the world. If you do have kids in there in school, work out a deal like my parents did with me for extra credit assignment with the teachers and fly with them then. It'll be more affordable. You might actually have a better experience. One more thing I want to add about flights, and this has been around for years. We haven't done a lot of reporting on it, but I've done some. It's on something called Fifth Freedom Flights. Anybody know what that means? I'm going to tell you. It's a rule that allows an airline that's not based in city A to fly to an international city B where they're also not based. So, for example, if you want to go tonight from New York to Athens, you can fly Delta, you can fly United, you can fly American with a connection. Actually, American also has a nonstop. You can also fly Emirates from New York or Newark to Athens. Nobody knows that. That's a Fifth Freedom flight because Emirates is based neither in New York or in Greece or in the United States or in Greece. There are so many other great Fifth Freedom flights for a lot of other reasons, and they're all good. Number one, not everybody knows it. Number two, they have to fly the plane anyway because it's going on from Athens to Dubai. So they got to move the plane anyway. So there's a reasonably good chance the fares are lower and the plane's not crowded. And if it happens to be Emirates, it's probably a newer plane. And the fare in this case is cheaper. It's actually cheaper to go from New York to Athens tonight than it was for me to go from LA to New York last week. So think about that. Another Fifth Freedom flight. How about this? Rome to Copenhagen. On which airline? You'll never guess. It's not SAS and it's not Alitalia or their new name. It's Singapore. And believe me, if I have a choice of going between Rome and Copenhagen on the new incarnation of Alitalia or Singapore, it's a no-brainer. We're going to have a piece on our website, and we'll talk about it on the radio as well in the next couple of weeks on all the secret Fifth Freedom flights that are out there that you need to know about. So there you know. Now, this is the crazy part, and I've got a photo to show you about this in a second. I have been inundated in the last couple of weeks by self-serving surveys by obviously interested companies that tell me something I already know. Here's a survey from TripIt.com that says, vaccinated Americans are raring to travel, survey shows. Really? You did a survey for this? You hired a company for this? Okay, but the other one that I thought was great, here's a survey that says Americans are raring to hit the ground in their cars or by car or by auto. And who did the survey? Hertz. Yeah, well, good luck getting a Hertz. I'm going to show you a photo. Not real. I mean, this is real. It's crazy. I give credit to my friend Gary Leff on this. He's one of my regulars on our radio show. He does a column called viewfromthewing.com. This is the rental car lot at a major U.S. airport. Notice something interesting? That's right. That's the last car left. So Hertz, thank you for your survey. What about your cars? Where are they? We already know the answer to that. So thank you for that photo. Let's go to the screen here for a second before I go to some other photos. All right. Sandy says, hello from Chatsworth. Thank you, Sandy. Let me scroll down here. I'm going to go to the top. Peter Coe on Wisconsin. All right. Jumbo, when is a good time to go back to Kenya? Now. I was just in Tanzania. I'm telling you, it's opening up. Sharon says hi from Florence, Arizona, where it's 113 today, in case anybody's interested. Jean says hello from now that Norway, hello from Oklahoma. Okay. Now that Norway has delayed opening to the EU, do you think that will even further delay opening to the US? Absolutely. I was on the phone with Oslo this morning, and our guess is September 1 for us, for American passengers. Mary Jo says, hello from Pennsylvania. I'm planning to go to Florida between Christmas and New Year's. When should I purchase airline tickets? Now. Remember, there is no surprise when it comes to Thanksgiving and Christmas. We know what day it falls on. We know what the blackout periods are. There's no reason to wait. For other times of the year, there is a really good, compelling reason to wait, but not during those two periods, not during Thanksgiving or Christmas, so do it now. Okay. Tanya wants to know, what is the required travel documentation and testing needed to travel from Switzerland to Italy after disembarking a Viking River cruise in Basel? My understanding, and we can check on this, is first of all, it helps to have your vaccination cards, and you may have to take a test. You may have to take a test. I will find out, and we'll have an answer for you hopefully next week. By the way, speaking of next week, our Facebook Live next week is not going to be on Thursday. It will be on Friday, the 16th. I'll remind you a little bit about that later as well. Same time, but one day later. It'll be a week from tomorrow, next week, from a location that might surprise you again, and I'm not going to tell you where. Okay, Marina wants to know, any news on Europeans being able to travel to the USA and when? Here's the problem that nobody's talking about, but I'll tell you. Remember, there's a joint US-UK task force. They were basically empowered to figure out the answer to your question. Here's the hang-up. They want reciprocity, right? And the reciprocity is, will America allow vaccinated Europeans into the US? And the answer is a qualified yes, and that's the hang-up. The qualified yes is, right now we're not recognizing, or US authorities do not want to recognize AstraZeneca or the Sino vaccine as acceptable vaccines. It's either Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson. So until that's resolved, that ain't going to happen. All right. Is the Japan state of emergency a real crisis or just a part of the political state of Japan? Well, they've had a new breakout of COVID cases in Japan. That's one of the reasons why they're probably going to ban spectators from their own country going to the games. So the question is it a real emergency or just a part of the political state of Japan? How about both? Right? How about both? All right. All right. April says airlines should not allow booking for those short connection times. Yes, but it's the airlines allowing the OTAs to do that. They may be legal connection times. It's absurd. Okay. Is 55 minutes enough time in Doha? Qatar Airways says it is okay. And the answer is, in Doha, it is okay. That is an amazingly efficient airport. They're made for connections. That airport was built for connections. 85% of the people going to Qatar are not going to Qatar. They're connecting through Qatar. Same thing in Dubai, another good airport to connect. So yes, but here's the thing I always tell people to do, and I do it myself. I just connected in Doha 2 weeks ago, and I had bags. You've got your barcodes on your bag tags. When you get to the gate, before you board your flight, show the barcodes and say, were my bags loaded? They can tell you in an instantaneous, 10 seconds. They know it's on the screen, right? And if it's not, they can tell you what's going on. Don't assume anything, even if you have a 3-hour connect time. But a 55-minute connect time in Doha, it is, in Doha, acceptable. Scott says, after listening to your opening, quick question, why travel now? Well, of course you want to travel now. If you can finesse the fares, if you can finesse the lines, if you can finesse the delays, that's why I do these shows, to help you do that. I'm just giving you what you're up against. That doesn't mean you can't do it. Remember, my mantra is how to beat everybody at their own game, playing by their rules. And that's what we're doing here. Hope that answers the question, Scott. Zach says hi from Houston. Hello from Alabama. Stephen Graves back on Rocky Top, Tennessee. No, I will not be singing that song. Christine says hi from Ponte Vedra. And of course, that's the home of St. Augustine in Florida, America's oldest city, I might add. Okay. Stephen Graves says, exactly. Pocket the coin and watch everyone else run like mice in a maze. You get the picture, Stephen. Okay. Sharon says, can I show my vaccination card on my phone instead of my actual card? I'll give you a technical answer. You can, but nothing takes the place of somebody being able to look at it and hold it in their hand. Remember, you're assuming that people just, are going to trust you and your phone. The amount of opportunity for forgery here is still great. And I just, when in doubt, I go to manual, right? Same thing for my tickets. I don't use my phone to check in at the counter. I show them a boarding pass. All right. John says, I just spent 4 hours and 45 minutes on hold last week with the State Department Passport Office to expedite my passport. Even expedited said it could take 12 weeks, departing 9/22 for Italy. Well, guys, this is not an unusual situation that John is reporting on. The passport offices are completely dysfunctional right now. Remember, a lot of them are still working from home. You can't process passports from home. You need to be physically in the office to do it. They're only taking limited appointments, no walk-ins. And what's even worse is officially, if you wanted to pay extra for expedited service, the official response is 6 weeks. John just said could take 12. There goes your summer. And if you're doing it regularly, it could take 4 to 5 months. So if you're watching me right now and you either have an expired passport or one that's going to need renewal very soon, or you don't have a passport, you want to get one, I mean, the minute we're off the air, start working on it because they're not going to catch up quickly. It's a complete debacle at the passport office. And imagine you're an American living overseas and you need to get somewhere. Where do you go for your passport? A U.S. consulate? Where do they go? Passport offices. Where are the passport offices? Whoops. So a lot of Americans are trapped overseas because of that. They don't have that window and be able to renew the passport. Hello from Chatsworth to Sandy. Let's go back up here. I'm going to move up here. Hold on. A lot of people coming in here. Theotina says Florida. Hello. Angela from Southern California. Marina's in Anaheim. Hello from Hot Vegas, says April. Any tips on travel to Egypt in December? Yeah, magic month for Egypt in December. The weather's great with a few sandstorms in the middle. No big deal. But that's when you want to go. And go for it. And by then, remember, the Grand Egyptian Museum will be open. Remember what I told you about that. Okay, Tammy says she's in San Diego, wants to travel long distance again soon. Jody Cooper, my old pal. Good morning from Simi Valley. If I have a car reservation in Boston at Logan, will I definitely have a car waiting if there are no cars? Here's what you do. You're going to get a reservation confirmation when you made your reservation, right? Okay, not enough. Get the phone number of the actual Logan Airport location for the rental car company that you used. Call them. Get a human being on the phone and ask them, get to talk to the manager, introduce yourself, give them the reservation confirmation number and the approximate 2 or 3 hour time window in which you're approaching the counter on the date that you're coming, and the day before, make the call again. Because what's happening right now, a lot of people are renting cars and are not abiding by their own contract, and they're keeping them longer. It's driving everybody nuts because there weren't enough cars to begin with anyway. So you need to have that conversation. Do not depend on just an email. It never worked before, but the pandemic, trust me, I always believe in the conversation. It especially doesn't work now. Have that conversation. Any good contacts in Kenya to book a safari trip? Yeah, I'll give you one. I love what these guys do. Well, there's Abercrombie and Ken. Of course, those guys are the traditional great safari operators in Africa. Jeffrey Kent's been doing it since 1962. He knows what he's talking about. If you want to read a good book, read his book, Safari. But there's another company that I also love. They're called Mikado, M-I-C-A-T-O. The guys who run Mikado have done something admirable. I mean, truly admirable. For any safari you book with them, they put one child in Africa all the way through school. Think about that. They're not just, donating pencils or writing a small check. They're putting one child in Africa all the way through school. What a great thing that is. Again, the name of the company is Mikato, M-I-C-A-T-O. Robert says, glad I got my rental car months ago for Traverse City. Yes, but the same principle applies. You better have that conversation, Robert. Tammy says she loves the surprise locations. All right, I'll give you a hint. I'm in New York today. The location's going to be a 4-hour flight from here. I'm not even going to tell you the direction. All right? That's all you get. All right? I will tell you, though, it's a hot destination. A hot destination. There's your hint. Okay. Sandra saying, I'm having trouble finding information on the country's status concerning COVID restrictions. I'm off for 6 weeks in Europe. Is there one site I can find info on? Well, info on, yeah, that's a self-serving question. It's our site, petergreenberg.com. My staff updates it every 3 or 4 days. The next update will be on Monday. So check it because it's changing so rapidly. We're really scrambling to stay on top of this, but Monday will be the next update. And Anthony, I know, is watching. He's going to make sure that happens. Okay. My good pal Jonathan Atkin, he's our big captain of ships. He's got a big mariner's license. I've had AstraZeneca vaccines. Will the U.S. not allow me entry back to my own home? The answer right now is, remember, it's not about having the vaccine as a U.S. citizen allowing you back in. It's having the COVID-19 negative test within 72 hours, Jonathan. We're just talking about European passengers coming in to the U.S. Okay. Eve wants to know the requirements to travel to Frankfurt, Germany. Right now, my understanding is if you show your vaccine card, you're not going to have to get tested before you go. You may have to get tested when you get there. We will check into that for you as well. Robert says Doha next month. Okay, it'll be hot. By the way, that's not my destination next week. Okay. Do I see the TSA removing the mask mandate after Labor Day from my pal Carrie Morrissey? Well, the official date to make that decision is September 13th, which means they'll probably make it before. But you know what? I don't think they're going to touch it for now, especially when so many Americans are not vaccinated yet. So right now, September 13th is a decision date, but we don't know what the decision is going to be. And Jonathan says he loves the Doha airport. A lot of things to love about the Doha airport. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Hello from Andrea. Hello from Raleigh. Hello from Orlando. Oh, my goodness. Denise says hi from Vegas. Thank you from Dallas. Okay, let's see. I'm going back up here because there's so many other questions coming in. Don says we are traveling again, decided on Las Vegas. Here at the Bellagio, they are missing the international traveler. Lots of room at the pool. Well, good. I hope that there's still lots of room at the pool. Here's one from, okay, John says, good morning from San Diego. The new television series RV in the USA will be in San Diego filming an episode for 2022 next week. Okay, thank you for that plug. But keep in mind, if you're renting an RV, please do everyone a favor, starting with yourself and then everybody around you, and take a few driving lessons before you ever leave the lot. Right turns can be a bitch, and the damage waivers don't cover you. All right? I love the idea of RVing. I hate the idea of tight right turns. You get the picture. Okay, Susie's going to take a river cruise to Bucharest and Budapest in October, if not canceled. I don't see a reason why it would be canceled right now. So stay tuned on that. Okay. I see. Scott's amended his question. Is it worth traveling now? Of course it is. You just have to make different either destination choices or different vehicle choices, meaning driving versus flying versus train versus bus. You can get there and you can still do it affordably, but some of the traditional models financially are not working because people are just, the prices are through the roof in many cases. Okay. Iceland, that was the question from Robert. I don't know what that means. Can EU residents enter the USA if they are fully vaccinated with AstraZeneca? EU residents? No, they can't enter the USA at all right now. Okay. Tanya wants to know how close are you to flying your normal 400,000 miles this year? Actually, I'm pretty close. 400,000 miles a year works out to about 8,000 miles a week. And lately I've been doing almost 12,000 miles a week. It's nuts. So I probably will end up at about 350,000 miles this year. I am not going to get to 400,000 unless something crazy happens. And crazy things can happen. Okay. All right. Here's one. Hold on. I'm scrolling back up again. We got so many people here. Okay. What is the news of the July 15th date? It's not the July 15th date, Katina. It's the July 19th announcement that we're still waiting for. My understanding is the U.S. is not going to make the list again. But they may have a modification for a 5-day quarantine where you self-quarantine and then quarantine out. We'll know more in about 9 days, so I'll let you know. Okay. Ramey Warren, my old pal from the Home Show. Oh, my God. How many people there remember the Home Show? Gary Collins, Sarah Purcell, and me, and Will Schreiner, and a few other great people. Ramey, love to hear from you, and I miss you too. Hello from Charlotte, from Macon, traveling through Doha to Cape Town. Very cool. Very cool. Here's one. I'm going back again. If Switzerland wants less than 6 months for vaccine to enter, and there's no booster yet, can we go there? That's the imponderable, Elizabeth. To refresh everybody, Switzerland is open to us, but we have to prove that we got vaccinated within 6 months of when we're going. So, as an example, I got vaccinated back in February. If I want to go next month, it's iffy that they'll let me in because I'm outside that 6 month window. So, check with your own doctor to see if getting another vaccine is even appropriate or healthy. I don't know the answer to that. It's somewhat of a switch that we haven't figured out what it means yet. Should I buy tickets for the Thanksgiving now or wait? No, if you buy the tickets now for Thanksgiving, they're not going to get less expensive if you're going the Wednesday before Turkey Day, or even the Monday or Tuesday before Turkey Day, because people always stagger their departures. Okay. Megan wants to know my opinion on traveling to Africa. Here's the deal. And remember, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV or Facebook, but I'm fully vaccinated. I was in Tanzania 2 weeks ago. The vaccination level in Tanzania was like less than 6%, which is pathetic, but it didn't stop me from going. Remember, we sort of morphed from worrying about the vaccination level at the destination and now more concerned about the vaccination level of the people who are actually going to the destination. So if you're fully vaccinated, you've got a mask, you agree to play by the rules, I would go. But again, check with your doctor. I am not one. Okay. Here's one from my old pal Eddie May from NBC days. I've been looking into rental cars at West Palm Beach for the end of the month, and I booked early, but I keep checking rates, and I've canceled and rebooked 4 times. I've already saved $100. Well, remember, Palm Beach in August is not high season, so you're going to save some money there. Palm Beach in March, good luck. Okay, let me keep going back here. Have I ever visited Pitcairn Island? Keel haul that man. Thinking of going there next year. You know what? As you said, they're thinking of opening to tourists after March 2022. And yes, I have been there, and as part of a longer trip. I wasn't there for an extended period of time. Speaking of that part of the world, Tahiti is now open, just so you know. Okay. Am I still purchasing? Oh, yeah. Am I still recommending purchasing an airplane fare between 90 to 60 days prior to the travel for summer of 2022? Yes. Remember, the exception I make is Thanksgiving and Christmas because there are no surprises. But right now, it would be not a good idea to book an airline ticket for next summer. The algorithms of the airlines that project demand aren't set up for it, and they're not going to be discounting. Remember, 60 to 90 days out, okay? Okay, hello from Crush Chris again from Uganda. Nice to talk to you again. Mike Lukens just back from the Iceland volcano Viking cruise. It was great. Cool for Iceland. They're open, by the way, and have been for a while. What about London? My daughter is going soon. Well, what about London? We're still waiting for an announcement from Boris Johnson, and hopefully that'll be July 19th. Right now, I was very hopeful over the last couple of weeks that they'd come to their senses for vaccinated Americans. They're still hung up on internal politics and their own number of cases, but there's a disconnect here. What just happened? Yesterday? 60,000 people crammed into Wembley Stadium to watch England beat Denmark, and then they won't let us come in and we're vaccinated? I don't get it. Hello, Gina from San Diego. Has Hawaii now fully opened to fully vaccinated mainlanders without a need to get a COVID test? Yes, as of today. Okay. How can I find out more about your trip to Tanzania? Well, you can when we do our television show there. We were there for a preliminary meeting to get it all set up. I'll have more information on that and that particular show in the days and weeks ahead. Hey, now it's time to go to one more photo. And before we go to that photo, don't go yet, Anthony. I'm going to hold something up. because when I mentioned this last week, the screen lit up from all of you. Apparently, I touched a chord. And you know what the chord was all about? Biscoffs. Biscoff cookies. Now, you'll notice in my hand here, I have a packet of 2 that I saved from a Delta flight. What I was talking about last week was what American Airlines is doing, and now only giving you a packet of 1, and the cookie is smaller. So I've declared war. It's a Biscoff war. And, I value these on the flight. I really do. I look forward to them. And one of our viewers, my old pal Jill Gable, went the extra mile and created this visual. Go ahead, post it. I do not work for Biscoff. I have no affiliation with the company. I just happen to like their cookies, and I wish America would go back to the 2-pack, as you see pictured here. All right, that's it for that. Go ahead, get rid of that. Just had to do that. Now, let's go to some of the questions you've sent in. Here's one from John. Peter, why aren't you going to Springsteen? We use that as a funny little promotion for our Facebook today. Hey, Broadway's coming back. Springsteen's back on Broadway. For those of you who are really history buffs, you may remember that You Can Call Me Responsible, along with Maureen Orth. Together, we did the cover story, the famous, infamous cover story on Bruce Springsteen back in 1975 for Newsweek, the same week that Time came out with theirs. And, talking about an artist that 98% of America at that point had never heard about. I guess we were onto something. The only reason why I'm not going to Springsteen is not because of the tickets to the concert. It was affording the flight to New York. That's the problem everybody's going to have. So Broadway's back. Good luck affording the ticket to get here. Okay. Thank you, Sid, for saying that's the way the cookie crumbles. No, that is not the way the cookie crumbles. This is a war to get them to come back to give us the 2-pack of Biscoffs. How many people agree with me? Come on. All right, here's another question. Diane, when do I think Japan will open? I don't think Japan's going to open until the end of August. The Olympics have got to get through. They're all a mess right now. Plus, there are new breakouts of the COVID virus. Bob, American Airlines still owes me a flight credit of $6,000. Am I out of luck? They say I have to use by the end of the year. Bob, I want you to write me with all the details. Send it to peter@petergreenberg.com. Make sure you tell me the name of the people you talked to at American, your original flight number, whatever confirmation numbers you had, and the correspondence that you've had with American. It doesn't make sense. So I want to be able to help you. Please do that. And for the rest of you out there, if I don't get to your questions today, it's an easy one. Email me to peter@petergreenberg.com. We'll answer it either online or on our radio show, which, of course, is every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's called Eye on Travel on CBS. And if you can't find a station in your market, no problemo. Just go right to our website, petergreenberg.com, hit the radio icon. We stream it live at about 10:05 a.m. Eastern every Saturday morning. Okay? Some more questions here. Amy, are passengers forced to wear masks on cruise ships that are sailing? Well, right now in Florida, because of the law there that's still being argued in court, the cruise lines cannot require vaccination as the reason for allowing you to go on the ship. So ships that are sailing out of Florida right now, mostly Royal Caribbean ships, are saying that those particular cruises are vaccine optional. But if you haven't been vaccinated and can't show proof of it, you're going to have to wear a mask just about everywhere on the ship. There'll be certain items, certain itineraries or activities on the ship that you won't be able to participate in. They lay those out for you when you're on the ship. I think this is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. And we're waiting to hear about what the court says. And by the way, when that happens, you will see those rules change one way or the other. And you may even see the ships not sail out of Florida for a while. Okay. Let's go to our photo of the week while we got you. The winner this week is Karen Bisk. And guess where this was taken, guys? Anybody want to guess? Maybe some of you said Iceland, and you're right. And they were just there. And they're in the volcano. And it's been erupting for 3 months. It's 40 minutes outside of Reykjavik. Here's a view of the steaming crater and still hot smoking lava. She took this photo, by the way, at 7 o'clock at night with 5 hours of daylight still left. Let's hear it for 22 hours of daylight. in places like Iceland and especially Greenland. So congratulations, Karen, on that photograph. By the way, if you've got a photograph you want to submit, it's an easy one. Send it to me, peter@petergreenberg.com. And if it's the photo of the week, you get to watch it right here. All right, let's go back to some more questions. Alexander wants to know, is it true that Royal Caribbean is canceling some bookings due to overbooking? I haven't heard that. We'll check into it, but I have not heard that. Here's one from Chris. Do I still need a COVID test to go to Hawaii if I'm traveling from LAX? As of today, you do not. Make sure you have your vaccination cards because that's the way you're going to get there without the test, okay? And very soon you'll be seeing inter-island travel opening in the islands of Hawaii for the exact same reason, and with the exact same requirements. Here's one from Ingrid. Why is it that Americans still can't visit Canada if they are loosening restrictions and Americans are highly vaccinated? Canada is loosening restrictions for vaccinated Canadians. It's the way they want to do it. I think it's stupid based on the vaccination level of the Americans, right? But they have their own internal politics to deal with, and that's the path they've chosen. Okay, I just want to let you know that. That's where we are right now. And by the way, today is July 8th. They're supposed to let us know about whether the borders open July 21st or not. Remember, they let us know about June 18th that they were going to extend it from June 21st to July 21st. I think they're going to do the same thing, at least for Americans. Okay. Here's one from Charlie. Which cruises allow unvaccinated passengers? Doesn't this seem like a lawsuit waiting to happen? Well, Charlie, the lawsuits have already happened. And the name of the cruise line right now, because they're sailing from Florida, is Royal Caribbean. All right, so check that out. Gene wants to know. Heather just said, just got back from Iceland 2 days ago. Gorgeous trip. I think you're right. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. Are Alaska cruises operating now? Gene wants to know. Yes, they are. They're operating from San Diego and they're operating from Seattle and they're nonstop, which means you're not stopping in Canada, which you normally would under the law. Remember, President Biden signed that waiver. And as a result, you don't even have to bring a passport because you're not traveling to any foreign country, right? And you don't have to take a negative COVID test to come back because you're traveling within the United States. Pretty good deal. Okay, let's go back up here. I've got some more to deal with. Hold on a second. Ellen says, are long-haul flights providing full meal service, same as pre-COVID? Specifically wondering about Kenya Airways. Let's get real. Airline food is an oxymoron. Why are you worried about full meal service? I actually am scared about full meal service. It's a BYO world, guys. As long as it's not liquid, as long as it's not, smelly, right? Nothing smells worse on a plane than a half-eaten bag of McDonald's that you got at the airport. I speak for all the other passengers on this one. But no, BYO. And you know what you're going to bring? Bring fruit. Bring grapes, bring melon, bring things that will hydrate you and that are good to eat. And some snack food. If you got kids, bring the snacks that they like. Don't depend. I long ago abandoned any kind of dependency on the airline to truly feed me, right? Except when it comes to these. Remember, I'm talking to you, American. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Here's from Tia. We stick with Southwest for continental U.S. travel, but the Biscoff cookies are a definite advantage for flying Delta. Okay. Abram says, good to see you. You should come back to Nairobi. I can't wait to come back to Nairobi. We were just next door in Tanzania about 2 weeks ago. I promise we'll be back. Okay. Let's keep going. Do you recommend using the same 60 to 90 days out formula when booking hotel rooms? I do. So it usually works, unless you know some additional information. If you know, for example, that on the day you want to go, they're having the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and that's next January or February, you better book it now. But if you're not going to a big convention city or they're having a huge religious holiday, then yeah, the 60 to 90-day rule also applies to hotels. Where do you think going to New York City? Oh, you think of going to New York City for 9/11? Well, I will be here for 9/11, the 20th anniversary. In fact, I'll be acknowledging that with the people I was with 20 years ago over at NBC and some other locations. A very important day to take stock and to remember and to think about the people that we lost. And I'm not alone in saying that I lost people and some lifelong friends too. Okay. Where are we now? Okay, I'm still going down. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Great. So a couple of housekeeping notes. Number one, of course, if you didn't get through to me today, you can email me to peter@petergreenberg.com. We'll answer it either online or on the radio show, which you can catch this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Check your local listings. If you can't find a station in your market, not a problem. We stream it online starting at 10:05 a.m. Eastern. Just go to our website, hit the icon, and you're in. For those of you who wanted to go to the Tokyo Olympics, now you know you're not going. For those of you who got a 37-minute connect time on your boarding pass, run to the airport to fix it because it's not going to work. And for the rest of you, oh, it just dropped it. But I have this left. I'll see you next week. Happy Biscoff.